Episode 1, The Dartmoor Diaries, a most curious case of domestic ambition. Pray allow us to extend a most cordial welcome to our newest and rather drafty abode, a stately manor dating back to 1894, nestled deep within the windswept bosom of Dartmoor. Yes, that Dartmoor, where the night air carries whispers of ancient secrets and the occasional lupine lament audible to those brave or foolish enough to listen. Once under the watchful ownership of none other than the royal family, and in a twist worthy of Holmes himself, procured from His Royal Highness Prince William, one assumes he no longer required a holiday home that doubles as a wind tunnel. This venerable residence now finds itself in our humble and mildly overwhelmed custody. How or why this transaction transpired is a matter for another time, perhaps over a glass of brandy beside the fire when the hounds of Baskerville are safely kennelled. Thus begins our grand experiment, to breathe life, warmth and wallpaper back into this noble structure, and restore it to its former glory as a true country estate. The paint may peel, the floors may creak, and the ghosts, if any, may object. But we press on, with enthusiasm, elbow grease, and an irrational affection for original cornicing. Join us, if you dare, as we embark upon the noble and frankly damp task of banishing mould from walls, windows and doors alike. This house, once colder than a tacksman's handshake in January, shall in time become as toasty as a crumpet by the fire. But wait, the true adventure lies above. Yes, above. This is where we will start, where brave souls, ourselves included, and our mighty band of builders ascend to the giddy heights of the roof. There, amidst the ravens and egret, we shall tackle the chimney render, replacing it with something that doesn't crumble at the mere sight of a stiff breeze. And now, a message to the culprit responsible for the previous lead work. If you are out there, and we do suspect you are, know this: one's chimney is not meant to resemble a demented Christmas parcel. It is not to be wrapped, folded, or crumpled with festive flair, but constructed with elegance, integrity, and a basic understanding of gravity. Your misdeeds have wreaked havoc on noble chimney stacks, vulnerable wooden beams, and plasterwork so disastrous it may have wept when the lights were out. But fear not, dear viewer, for we shall conquer. We shall prevail. This mould shall be vanquished. And our 5 glorious bedrooms shall once again be fit for royalty, or at least guests who enjoy not waking up with frost on their eyebrows. So follow along as we take another step in this most curious case of domestic ambition. The game is most definitely afoot. But before you depart us on this fine and fortuitous day, dear viewer, it must be said, no chimneys can be re-rendered, no leadwork reworked, nor slate tiles be replaced, until one has located the one room to rule them all, the most sacred chamber, the seat of reflection, if you will, the throne room, fit for a king, our trusty build team, and of course, oneselves, the royal we. After much wandering, up creaking staircases, past draughty corridors, and outside along the back walkway of the house, we finally discovered it, the one, the only, throne room. And what a splendid throne room it is. At first glance, one might be forgiven for believing Michelangelo himself had been resurrected and commissioned to paint the ceiling with celestial glory. But alas, upon closer inspection, what we actually beheld was not a Sistine starscape, but rather a celestial ceiling of mould. Yes, entire constellations of spores drifting lazily across the plaster sky, like the Milky Way on a humid day in a poorly ventilated observatory. The walls, once perhaps capable of breath, now appear permanently suffocated in what one can only describe as a curious blend of cream cheese, cottage cheese, and, is that pineapple, a palate more picnic than palate, and altogether quite hostile to the senses. But credit where credit is due. Upon hearing of our arrival, the esteemed housekeeping team, clearly disciples of Downton-level diligence, leapt into action. The chamber had been wiped, sanitised, and prepared for regal visitation. The pièce de résistance, a singular, emerald-hued hand towel, so luxuriously soft, we could scarcely believe our own hands. We suspect it is none other than Sea Island cotton, a fibre so rare it accounts for less than 0.00004% of the world's cotton, prized by Queen Victoria, rumoured to be used in James Bond's underthings, and now, most humbly, drying our own hands in Dartmoor. But alas, perfection is ever elusive. The toilet roll, that noble scroll of modern civility, had been overlooked, a most unforgivable oversight. No matter, we shall call upon Waitrose and its mighty cavalry to dispatch a dozen four-ply scrolls at once. Still, we were moved to wonder, who once sat here, and upon what paper? Might it have been Joseph Gaiety's therapeutic paper, introduced in 1857? Or was it the more familiar Waldorf roll, brought to England by the enterprising Scott brothers in 1879? We may never know. The cardboard cores offer no clues. The mystery, as with all great things in life, is unresolved, though we take comfort knowing the previous tenants wiped with progress, not Dartmoor moss. Just as we turned to exit, we believed all the chamber's secrets had been revealed. But hark, beneath a mound of golden beech leaves, a glimmer caught our eye. There it lay, a floor so unexpected, so delightfully preposterous. We could scarcely believe our spectacles. An original printed tile effect linoleum floor, a treasure from a bygone era, preserved beneath foliage and neglect, not marble, not ceramic, but gloriously deceptive linoleum, masquerading as grandeur. And so, dear viewer, the throne room stands, equal parts absurdity and elegance, a room of contradictions, a chamber of curiosities, a loo for legends. Join us as we embark on this journey of discovery and renovation, and be part of our decision-making process. We plan to share our creative projects and epic transformations along the way, sharing our stories and great renovation tips having learned from around the world. And so, until fate or algorithm reunites us, we await, with genuine anticipation, the great pleasure of your company once more.